Hi everyone. Welcome back on the day 14. A fortnight has been completed. Now today we will look more into the login page and we will see what we missed from the point of UI design. And then we will add the JS, which will include the adding the APIs for that, taking the input from the text box and all sort of those things. And if that page will be completed, we will move toward other components. Like sidebar was pending, so we will move towards sidebar, and then we will move toward different views, and then we will move towards sign up page and all of those things in a part by part state. So let's get back to the track. First of all, what we things to do? First we go to Jira, again check what are the things we are doing. We are creating component of login signboard page, and we are also creating component of sidebar which is still in the pending process, and we are also making the fully functional website. So let's make it to progress, in progress, and we will see what we will see. Then we will check our UI design, how it is looking. Okay, so we have built this here, and let's check how our website is looking. So for that, first we have to restart the system. So for that we have to write command, and we are in the front end folder. So yeah, it's code in the front end folder. So we come in the front end folder, we will write command npm run dev. Dev means development mode. So I can run this, and now anyone can view this. So it's loading, and let's wait for a few minutes. It will get loaded. So now let's reload our page. We will see how does it looks and what are the changes it requires. We can compare both the things again and see what need to be added. We know that API part is not there. It has not been added yet. So we will look into it. So waiting just for a wait for a minute. Yeah. So image is there, login password, remember me, sign in is there. Okay, I can see the icon is not here, which is here. So let's add the icon. How to add that? So we will search user icon in HTML. So we will use that HTML and view. So it has some kind of that thing. So let's remove that, and we will use plain HTML. User and people icons. So how we want? We we want something like this, right? So let's see its code. It's here, and it is like this Unicode thing. So after Unicode, we can see this. So we will take this in the input. Now let's say here in the input tag, we will add this. And let's see what is there. So icon is still not visible. So let's see what gone wrong. So get back to this. Or let's go with this first. It will not be still not be visible. So what could be the potential reason? So we can see it has imported some of the script. So we don't know, actually it is an awesome 5 icons. So for this, let's look into the content, how to add view.js icon. So we will see. Now we can see it has some text. Look into it, addition. Add icon with view. So let's see what it does. So font awesome, we have to install this. So let's install this. We have to install this package, so we have to stop it. Use this to install the package. And then we have to import those things where we use. Now where we have to import those things, that must be imported in the app.view, where everything is become common for every template. What we will import? Import awesome. So you can see this line, font awesome, right? So you will see these three has need to be added. In.js. And now in the before the router, we can add this app dot component. And then you can use this font icon to register the component, and it will get registered. And now we will run this. So let's reload this. So we got some error. So let's get back to main.js. We have got error from this. So by the time, let's do this library dot this. Let's remove this. So icon is not working, so we will look into it. View icons. So we will get back to it later. First, then look at the thing of the, what should we say? JavaScript function to add the values that can be stored in the front end to send to the back end. Why need to send? Need to validate that. So let's suppose first thing we look here. That's how the values are stored. So this we can see this in the script. These things are there to scope the value, and then there's a function to increase those values. So now let's get back to sign in, and where we know we have only two things. So what are those two things? Email and password. And form need to be submitted. So how that is submitted button enabled? So here the action is performed as submit at the rate submit dot prevent. So what this will do? This will do preventing. So you can see somewhere here that this is the code that can be used. Let me show you the code, same code. In the template syntax it was dynamic ID. Yeah, you can see. And now there's a name of the function. You can see in the form modifier. And now let's name it for which function? Or name it the function as on login, on submit, on login. That could be better because we are doing the login function. So everywhere it's going to be submit. So let's rename it like that way. So now we have stored it on login, and now the values of these things sent to the uh, sent to somewhere in the attribute. So let's say I want something there, and that should contain something like this. So let's say that it's the binding thing. So these things are there. The activity component is there. Let's say in the activity component you will see those things. Mm, to get the value, there are some things are there. So let me show you that way, that how to use it. I know how to use it, but for you, let me know how to use it. So to reference that, you can use this thing, and then you can see this if anything is there, or you have to write. So it is there in this page. We have to find that. So let's see, it should be somewhere here. Or input binding. So let's say something like this. v model. So you can write colon model to message, and message will be printed there. So that will be stored. So yeah, this is the thing, v model. That is even for checkbox, v model checked. So that stores a value. So there's three things, remember me and all sort of those things. So we have referenced something, and what we do, we will make a constant name as email, which is referring to a, a string. So we will store this like this way, const password, that will store refer as this way, const, and then const remember me, that will be reference of this way. These three variables we are taking into account. And now what we will, for these three things, what we will do, we will do a function that where we are stepped into the login, on login. So we will write function on login, which nothing has to do with this thing. So now what this function, first thing to note it, let's say we want to let's make the data itself, data equals to email is equals to this dot email, or you can see here how it is getting the data. So using the reactive models, you will get the data. So you got the these things, and we let's think. You have to write something like this, name dot value. It will call greet email equals to email dot value, comma, let's now, what the other thing, password, password equals to password dot value, and remember me is equals to remember me dot value. So we have added these things. Now let's say I want to see what it does, how much it has contained. So let's say we write is console.log data, and we save this. So now the thing has been saved. We come back here, refresh this page. Let's suppose I want to write this way, test@email.com and test. So instead of email, we can even write test.@test.com. So this is compulsory. Now let's make it that it should not be compulsory. So this for this ID required is not compulsory, and also we have to remove the dark part for it. So now let's write test.test.com and password is test. Let's suppose. And how to see? To see that we the console we will see in here is in the inspector window console part. And let's say we write sign in. So it shows some error that data is not defined. So what we do? Because data is not defined here. So again we will write let data equals to this. Now again we will do this test at the rate test.com, password is test, and again we will do, and we will see something is there but no values, right? So that value must have changed, but the value is not changed. What should we do now? So email is empty. So let's try this. Email.target.value, and again, so never. Now what happened? Why it is not picking the value? So the thing is, understand this. So in the input column, we have not binded anything with this, that model. So let's write that some model is equals to email. We will bind this model, and similarly we will bind this model with password. Right? We have binded this. So first bind these two things and test it. Then similarly we will bind for checkbox. So still value is not there, and let's try now. Let's try email dot target dot value. So it is showing error, and it means target should not be there. And then we go into here to see actually what happened. So now we got those things. We have to check how those things get into that. Or let's remove the data and print something like this way. Let me try this at least once. So to make sure that, so instead of data, I will print email. So now again, let's clear this and run this assignment to constant variable. Now instead of const, let's do it as let. So now email is coming. And now let's convert that into data and let's see. Let data equals to, we are getting something, right? So let's try this. So we got something like this. All right. So we have done this, and let me get back to this const, and then this has again as const, and get back to here how it is doing. And for checkbox, v model is, let's say, checked. We can name it as remember me. So where to do that, we will add it in the checkbox input id. After here, v model. This is done, and then template ref. So let's say one of the component basic, we will look into it, and it is a button. Now we want more detail. this is the prop, and what is the prop? Prop are compile time macros, which can be set up in one page, and that thing called in the second next page as a child element. So you can set up a thing as a hierarchy. So this is a component as a parent in this child, and again more child. So you can set up like that. So you these are things you can look into it, and you can see these things. So we will see these things, how it will work. Let's say one of the component is registration, and it want to do that. So we are not able to see. So let's go to some of the website where we can do this. Input in view 3 with the changed value. So you can see template. We will write this in the setup. We will write this. Now this is the thing, event. So we were missing the event. Basically, the thing that is missing is the event. At every event change. So let's try to run this at least one time, and then if this doesn't work, then we will come back this on tomorrow with more detail. And let's suppose in the inspector window we will do this. Nothing is there. Then now we will try this. Rating value become irrelevant. And how it is written? Event dot target dot value. So let's say email dot value equals to email dot target dot value, password dot value is equals to this. Value is equals to event dot target dot values. Or let's move this here. or what we can make this as, email dot everywhere. Instead of this we will write this, instead of this we will write this we will write this, and here we write email is email, comma, we will see password only, password as password. So now I hope this work. So whenever there is an error, the code will be seen like this. You can see now. Now something is there. The values are undefined. So it is not getting resolved. So let's stop it here and move with the other part. So let's make the sidebar. Now we are here in the sidebar component, and so let's say now we want to be here in the dashboard where the sidebar component is. And how does this text look like? Text should be in center, name as, name is at social app, the header of this part, or what should I name it? This is the company's name, or let's say something like that. So app name, we name is like that. App name, text center, item center, font bold, text black, text to Excel. So now this is the item center, and for vertical align, justify content. You can see here what are different things we have used to center these things. So yeah, the same thing will be used here, and this place would be flex. And then P2, PL2. We have two, let's make it four. Yeah. So now we fix this. We have to add the content here. So the next part we have body, in which we have to add content here. So first thing, what we want, the first content was to get back to again this part. So we will look into it. We have a plus icon. So its icon, we will look into it later. Notification and profile logout button. So first is the notification profile. So let's write it as notifications. Here we write it as profile. And here should be a logout button. So button is BTN primary. Background is something similar to that. So we will choose from here itself. So what's the color of the background? That is this one. With opacity 70%. Now let's rename it as logout button. So class logout. The name should be logout. And text size should be text center text LG items center. We have added this. Now these three things has been added in this part. Where this should be. Flex and item center justify content text center. So now this is here and these three should be at bottom. So justify not content, justify bottom. Item justifies tailwind. There is no bottom but there is an end. So justify end should be the CSS. And items to search item items also at end. Text to Excel. So item must be center. item end by 4. So we have added this content. This need to be bottom. So let's see bottom CSS. Putting items in the bottom part CSS. And what should it contain? Sidebar content. And we will add display flex. So these are styling we are doing, and then what should be there? Bottom auto. Let's say there's a flex wrap, and we will remove this. Font bold. Text center could be better. Yeah. Flex call. Flex wrap. We will wrap that around. Yes. It is here. The color is same. That the logo. Then the item must be this things in the bottom. So bottom property is there. So let's say 10px. So button, we will use the same button. So there will be no border. Text black, hover background, these things should be there. No dark should be there. So we have, I also have to remove dark from here. The sidebar button. This and now button. Now this should contain the other part of these things. Add an opacity as 70%. Displaying as a block. So now we have built something like this. We will continue from here. So we have built a good thing here. So let's finish it for today. We have already been 50 minutes. So I hope you have learned something about CSS. We have trying building more into it, and let's finish it here. Thank you and have a nice day.